Hi, my name is Carli. If you'd like to join me today for a short practice to ground your body and your mind, roll out a mat, a blanket, or towel, or just simply find a comfortable place. Good. Grab your things and let's begin. You can start by finding a comfortable, easy seated pose, like I'm showing here with my legs crossed, lotus pose. Any position with your legs extended or sitting on the heels, or maybe you can take a pose on your back or a child's pose. Finding what feels best in your body today is most important. Good. Let's begin. If you're in a safe space where you feel comfortable enough to close your eyes, you can begin to do so now. Otherwise, just lowering your gaze down at the grass in front of you if you're outside, or your mat. If you're on your back, maybe gazing softly upwards at the leaves or the ceiling. Just beginning to turn down the volume on the world outside of you. Busy, pulsing, chaotic experience here. And instead, making that choice, making the time today to tune in with yourself. To reconnect the body and mind. Let's begin with the breath. When you're ready, big inhale in through the nose. A nice soft exhale out of the mouth. But again, big full inhale, breathing into the deeper part of your belly and lungs. And a nice big exhale. Allowing your body to soften into whichever position you've chosen. Hips are heavy. Finding the sitting bones. Softening the muscles across your face. The skin on your scalp. Loosening that tight clench in your jaw. Nice and simple. Breathing in and out. You're seated. Try lengthening through the spine, lifting the crown of the head high. Lifting that heart up toward the chin. Softening the shoulders, letting them smooth down the back. If you're lying on your back, simply letting your arms be heavy, legs heavy as they sink into the ground, softening through the glutes and face. We'll all send our attention now to our navel or belly button. Taking nice slow breaths in and out. Nowhere to be, nothing to do but be right here, right now. Taking a few moments to scan the body. Tuning in with yourself, noticing if there are aches and pains, any discomfort, desire to move, desire to turn off the yoga video and move on to something else. Just noticing and identifying what is your mind, its busyness, its fluttery nature, quite like a bumblebee caught in the breeze, and your body, and sensations, tightness, openness, heaviness. If you're feeling like this is challenging today, that's okay. Arrive as you are. No requirements or expectations for you here. Just an invitation to practice. It may help to take your left hand and just rest it comfortably on your chest, right by the heart. And ask yourself, how do I feel? How do I feel today? What might I need to feel a little better or to feel more like myself? Good. Now listen for that answer. Often it lies within. We just don't ask or listen enough. So ask yourself what you need. If you would like, make that your intention for class. Maybe the right hand rests over the left hand to seal that intention here. The big inhale. And a nice big sigh. Just letting the stress of your day roll off you as best as you can, just for right now. On our next inhale, let's blink the eyes open, float the arms out and up. Exhale, left hand down to the mat beside you. Good. Inhale through those right fingertips, lifting up and out of that hip. And then exhale, reach up and over to the left, bending that elbow. We're walking the hand away from your body as you sink into this stretch. You should feel it along the right side of your body, from the hip into the waistline, the rib cage, maybe even into the armpit, elbow. You can make a fist with that raised hand and roll out the wrist if that feels good. Go both directions. Take one more big inhale and a big exhale. Good. Let's press back up to center with a big inhale. Use that core. Lift both hands high. Exhale the right hand down beside you. Inhale, look up with those left fingertips. Extend out of the hip. And exhale, let's lift that arm up and over. Good. Make sure to let that shoulder open. So we don't want to see our arm in front of our face. We want to almost miss it in our peripheral vision altogether. Good. And then you can gaze upward at that hand if that feels okay for the neck. You could also gaze forward or even down. Just be sure that both hips stay anchored. Take one more big breath in. And a big exhale. Good. We'll inhale back up to center, both arms reaching tall, gazing upward between the hands. And exhale, bring those palms down to the mat behind you. I'll turn here so you can see what this looks like. You can rest on your palms. You can also come onto fingertips here, whatever works best. I like my palms, so I'm going to come back down here. Good. Let's take a big breath in, lift the heart upward toward the chin, pressing from the back of the ribs, lifting the chin upward, getting a nice stretch in the upper back and chest. If you would like more, you want to bring the stretch into your hips. We'll press up off our seat, bringing our weight onto our knees. Again, lifting up. This is where it might be nice to come onto your fingertips, walking those hands closer, pressing your hips and belly button forward, lifting that heart high, head can fall backward. Take one more really big breath. And exhale, let's come back down nice and easy, very gentle. Good. Trace a big circle around your body, big inhale. And exhale, we'll sink down into this nice stretch over the lap. And this whole flow can take place in a lotus pose with our legs crossed. You can also take this same pose with legs extended. Let's take one more big breath in, just rocking side to side as you breathe and feel those ribs expand into the back, into the side of your body. And on your exhale, walk those hands towards you. Good. Here we'll come onto hands and knees. Coming to the side, off the hips. Bringing your palms right under your shoulders, knees under hips. Good. Legs are about hip width distance. Separate your fingers nice and wide. Engage the palms, fingertips, and knuckles. Point the tailbone straight back. Hug that belly button in as you press the ground away for a nice active tabletop. Good. And don't gaze forward. See how that brings a curve into my spine and neck? What you want to do, hi friend, is look straight down. Good. Let's do some cat-cows for our spine. On an inhale, belly sinks toward the ground as we peel our tailbone and heart up and forward. On the exhale, opposite direction, we'll lift the mid-back. Press the pelvis forward as we tuck our chin under. With the breath, let's inhale to our first pose, cow pose. With every exhale, arching the back, curling into a cat. Good. So inhaling, coming forward and up, scoop that heart. Broaden the collarbone by squeezing those shoulder blades together into the spine. And exhale. Let's tuck under. Chin to chest, palms down. Spread the shoulder blades apart. Nice. 2 more times. Inhaling up for cow pose. And exhaling under to cat pose. Last round, big full inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. On an inhale, come back to a neutral tabletop. Step your knees together. Good. Spread those fingers apart. Once again, engaging the hand, fingertips, protecting that wrist. Inhale, extend back through your right heel. Good. Make sure your core is nice and strong, hugging that belly button in toward the spine. And you can always gaze down the midline of your body to see if your foot is where you think it is. We want it right in line with the rest of our spine, not too high up or too low. Right here. If you feel strong today and steady and you'd like to practice some balance, you can also try lifting that left hand forward like you're shaking somebody's hand. Good. Press up out of that right shoulder. Engage the tummy muscles. Take a big breath in. And exhale. Let's curl that knee in toward the nose or our knee in toward our elbow. Good. Inhale to extend. Fingers and heel tugging apart. And exhale to squeeze and contract the body together. Good. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Big breath in. And exhale. Big breath out. Good. Inhale to extend and hold. On your exhale, bring your left hand back down. Right toes come down, but to the back of the mat with an extended right leg. Good. Now we'll bring our right heel down. Press the outer edge of your foot into the ground as your left foot rotates behind you like a kickstand on a bike. Good. We want to bring our hand right under our shoulder, knee under hip, and bring into that line our right heel. When that's all nice and settled, strong foundation, let's inhale our right hand high to the sky. And on the exhale, pressing our hips and belly button over a lot to the right. Your right hand can stay lifted above you as you stack that shoulder over the left shoulder. Or you can let that hand start to spill back behind you, rolling that heart open to the sky for a nice big stretch along the front body. May feel really good here to take some big circles with that arm. You can start small and make a big spiral, widening that circle as you go, making sure to breathe along the way. Don't hold your breath. And switching directions. Good. Now let's inhale, meet back in our original gates pose. Arm right extended above you. On the exhale, reaching up and over toward the top of your mat with your palm down. One big long line of energy from hand to foot. From here, if you'd like, little balancing challenge. Lift that back foot as high as your hip. Reach out through those top fingers in the right hand, staying here. If you still want more, you can bend that top leg, catching the foot in your right hand. Good. This is a great balancing challenge as well as a nice quad stretch. You can add a hip stretch here if you like by pressing your foot back into your hand and your hips forward. Good. Now release that with control. Inhale to extend. And exhale, lower that foot slowly with control. Let your right hand come down to the mat. Good. Now our left toes come back. Our right knee comes down. Here we can take a child's pose. Toes together, head and shoulders melting down into the mat. Or if you've had a long day and you'd like a more active pose to stretch your legs, and maybe you've been sitting today, come into a tabletop. We'll tuck our toes under, lift those hips up and back for a downward facing dog. Good. You choose. Take one more breath. We'll meet back in our tabletop. Okay, yogis, let's do the other side. So for example, you can see right now I'm kind of letting my belly sag and I'm sinking into my shoulders. My butt's poking out. I'm going to start by activating my arms, pressing them down, lifting up out of the shoulder heads, and then rotating my hips slightly by tucking my belly button in toward my spine and pointing my tailbone straight back behind me. Now from here, we're going to send that left heel back. Good. Check to make sure it's in line with the rest of your spine. And then see if you can grow longer in the whole body by pulling your head forward and pressing your heel backward. Good. Stay engaged in the belly. Make sure you're still breathing, okay? It's very important. We tend to hold our breath when we feel challenged or applying effort. We want to find that nice balanced place where we're building upon a strong foundation of breath, not pushing ourselves too hard, but just the right amount. Okay, if you want more, option to reach forward with that right hand. Good. Find that steadiness. Find the breath. Let's inhale, extend, and exhale, squeeze and curl. Inhale, extend, and exhale, curl. One more time, big breath in, extend nice and long, and exhale, curl everything in nice and tight, knee to face or knee to elbow. Good. Inhale, extend one final time, and exhale, bring your palm down, toes down to the mat. Good. Now this side, your heel will come down, your foot will spin off, and check your alignment. I'm going to switch sides. Good. So our hand, knee, and foot should all be in one nice line. See how I'm stacked right on top of my shoulder joint, hip right above my knee. Good. Inhale, left hand high. And exhale, stay here or let that hand fall back as you press the belly, chest, and hips forward a lot. Nice. It should feel like a nice whole body stretch. If this right hand is tired and your wrist is sore from holding up your body weight, you can opt for a fist instead. Good. Starting to take those big circles here. Moving with the breath. Your mind is wandering. You're either paying attention to the things around you in your space. Maybe you noticed a pile you've been meaning to deal with, or a little dust bunny under the bed. Let's switch directions. Maybe you're thinking of it now because I said something. Our mind is a busy thing, quite like the bee, right? Its nature is to be busy and moving. So we're not judging it. We're just noticing and inviting it to be still as our body moves here instead. Good. We're going to take that left hand straight overhead, reaching long through those fingers with the palm down. One long line of energy for that balancing challenge here, if you would like, as we did on the other side. Start to lift that left foot off the mat. Good. If you want more still, catch that left foot in your hand or a strap, or work toward it if it doesn't happen this time, no problem. Good. And then instead of letting this knee fall in toward the right leg, we're going to lift it up as high as our hip bone, or as best we can. Continue pressing your hips and belly forward, and then press that foot back into your hand as you open the chest and breathe. It's okay if you wobble and shake. It's all about the effort you're applying, not about perfection and how you look. It's how you feel. Good. On our inhale, we'll release that with control. And exhale with control, lowering that left foot down. Left hand comes down. Good. We're facing our mat. Let that right foot join the left foot and the knee will come down. We're in our tabletop. Once again, you can take a child's pose here or a downward facing dog. You choose. If you're taking child's pose, you can separate the knees, toes together, hips back. Letting your head and chest hang nice and heavy. This should feel pretty good. You can also take that more active pose by tucking the toes under, sending those hips up and back, pedaling out your feet as you bend one knee, rolling the opposite heel down, switching sides. Good. Take one more breath wherever you are. Big inhale and a big exhale. Now, if you're in child's pose, we're going to take a moment to find our friends in downward facing dog. So slowly come forward onto your hands and knees. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back. Find that downward dog. Once you're here, separate the fingers wide. If your hands are slipping like mine, just really engage the palms, pressing them firmly into the mat as you send the weight of your body back toward the hips and feet. Nod the head yes, and shake the head no. Let the neck hang heavy, gazing back behind you between your feet. On your next inhale, come up onto the tippy toes, bend the knees, look forward. Slowly begin to walk toward the top of your mat. Good. They're taking a moment to find a forward fold. I'm a little tight today. Things feel a little tight back here in my legs and in my back. So I'm going to take my feet a little wider than I normally would. Wider than my hips. From here, head and chest, even my arms are just going to hang really heavy like a rag doll. I'm going to sway side to side. Resisting the urge to adjust my clothing or to look around and follow the noise. Just coming into my breath, finding my practice. And when things get a little distracting and loud in the mind, I always come back to my intention. Why I decided to practice today. What energy or mood I need to embody a little bit to feel a bit more like myself. Good. If you have your hands in opposite elbows, you'll just release those down. Take a big breath in as you bend the knees. Let your belly come down toward the thighs. Let the head hang heavy. On your exhale, start to press down through the feet as you slowly begin to roll upward. In slow motion, like you're stacking your vertebrae one by one on top of each other as you rise to a standing position. Head is the last part to come up. Good. Once it's level, chin is level with the ground underneath you. We're going to refocus our position. Take a big breath in, lift those arms out and up. Let those palms touch. Good. On the exhale, let's fold forward and down again. On an inhale, we'll come up halfway. Hands to the shins as we lift the head and shoulders as high as the hips. Weight comes forward toward the toes. And exhale back down. Let's practice that 2 more times. Inhale, up halfway lift. Lengthen through the backs of the legs, the spine, and exhale down. Good. One more round. Big full breath in. You got this. And big exhale. Good. Inhale, bend the knees, belly to thighs. Use one exhale to roll back up. Good. Inhale, arms lift out and up high, palms touching overhead. And exhale, hands to the heart. Good. We're going to do one sun salutation and then come down for our rest. When you're ready, join me inhaling the arms out and up and exhaling forward and down. Inhale up halfway lift. Find that flat, long back. Make a 7 shape with the body. And exhale, back down. Good. Inhale, bend the knees, belly to thighs. This time, bring the hands with you On your exhale, step your right foot to the back of your mat. Good. So we're going to come down into a low crescent lunge with your knee on the ground. Untuck the toes. Good. Bring that knee right above your ankle. Press that foot into the ground, back foot into the ground. Inhale, float those arms forward and up high. Good. On your exhale, sink a little deeper into the hips if you can. Press that knee forward as you sink a little deeper. Doing your best to stay soft in the breath, the face, the shoulders. One more big inhale here, looking between the hands if you'd like. And exhale those palms down to the mat. Good. Let's add a twist here. Right palm will stay planted into the ground. As we inhale, lifting those left fingers up, chest opening toward the left, gazing upward at the fingers if it feels okay in the neck. Good. Try to soften those hips again. Press that left knee forward. Woo. Good. One more big inhale here. You got this. And exhale, bring that palm down. Tuck the back toes, lift that back knee. And exhale, step forward, back to our forward fold. Inhale up, halfway lift. And exhale to forward fold. Good. Inhale, bend those knees, belly to thighs. Nice. Exhale, roll up. Standing pose. Inhale those arms out and up, palms touch. And exhale, hands back down into the heart space. Let's do the other side. You got this, guys. Inhale, arms float out and up high. I'm going to switch positions here for you. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale up, halfway lift. Tailbone back, crown of the head stretching forward. And exhale, back down. Bend those knees, plant the palms. This time, step the left foot back. Lower the left knee down, untuck the toes. Scooch until you have your right knee right above your right ankle. And make sure that that left knee is back away from the hip. So sometimes I see students who do this for their lunge. They have a very square shape. I'm sitting all of my bones on top of that other bones. You see? Straight long line here, straight long line there. So I'm not really engaging much of a stretch in the body. What I want to do instead, even if it's just a little bit, is scooch that knee back. Do you see the change? Little triangle shape. So I'm gonna go a little deeper. Good. I'm gonna let my hips and feet really ground down. When I feel ready, I'll take a big inhale, pressing my right foot down into the mat as my arms float forward and up. And I'm back in my lunge now. On the exhale, sinking deeper, just slightly by pressing that right knee forward. Top of the back foot presses firmly into the ground. Lift up out of the body while staying soft in the face and shoulders. Breath is strong and steady, just like you. If you want a little extra challenge here, let's take our last inhale as we gaze up between the hands. And then exhale, bring those palms down to the mat. Nice. We'll get our twist in here as well. Left hand stays down on the mat by the right foot. Right arm swoops out and up, stacking our right shoulder over our left shoulder, and then sinking deep into the hips, trying to soften the glutes. Pressing that right knee forward slightly, breathing still, good. Twisting that rib cage out and up toward that right thigh as we hug the right thigh in toward the body for a nice compact twist. If you need more space, you can wiggle that foot a little farther apart. If you have a little bit more of a belly area or you have a baby here, giving yourself the room that you need. Always, always accommodate. Take one more big breath in. Let's exhale that right hand down. Good. Here's our transition. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Exhale, take a big step forward. Back to our forward fold. Good. Inhale up, halfway lift. Stretch forward through the crown of the head, tailbone back, and exhale down. Good. Bend the knees on your inhale. On your exhale, roll back up to stand. Inhale the arms out and up, letting those palms touch overhead. Exhale, hands back to the heart. Good. Now we're going to come down to the mat. We're going to step our feet wide, about as wide as the mat, wider than our hips. It'll look like this from the front. Your toes are going to point slightly outward. Good. Inhale, arms reach out and up high. On the exhale, we're going to sink our hips low, bending our knees, coming into a squat pose. Nice deep squat. So some people, this is a really comfortable, easy place to go. For other people like me, this is really challenging. Some of us may not come down this far, or our heels might still be floating. No matter where you land, try to just let your center of gravity sink down toward the ground. Palms together will help stabilize you as you bring the thumbs toward the chest. You can rest your elbows on top of or inside of your knees, helping brace your knees open. Good. Now try to sit up a little taller in your squat. Lift and lengthen through your spine. Try not to panic. Find the breath. Help yourself stay grounded. And now bonus points if your heels are on the ground. We want to make sure our weight is in the back of our foot. So unlike our half forward fold, where our weight is forward in the toes, this time our weight is back in the heels. So you can even try looking down at the toes, lifting the toes. Take one more big breath in. You got this. It's our last one. Big exhale. Nice. Hands can come in front and behind as we find our seat once again. Oh, give your legs a little wiggle. I'm going to come sideways once again. I like to lean back into the palms here, separating my feet as wide as my mat and just letting those knees fall side to side. Good. Noticing how it feels to be in my body here. If there's been any change in sensation in my hips or low back. And then I'm gonna bring the bottoms of my feet together to touch. Knees are separated. We call this butterfly pose often, or Baddha Konasana, bounded angle pose. Good. So you wanna bring your shoulders right above your hips if you're able. Hands can come to the feet or ankles. We're gonna sit up nice and tall. Good. Finding a nice stretch either in the neck and shoulders, the inner thighs and hips. You can stay upright here, or if you'd like, you can start to pull the body forward toward the feet. Trying to keep that spine nice and straight as you come forward and down. Good. Maybe you look toward your belly button, letting the crown of your head reach forward and down. Here, your elbows can fan out and start to press into the knees, gently helping them find the ground. Let's take one more big breath in. And a big exhale. Good. If you're in this forward fold, we'll slowly start to roll upward. Good. Bring your hands to the outsides of your legs. Just like you finished a good book, we're going to help the pages close. Helps take a little bit off the inner thighs. Send those legs out long in front of you. At this point, you can lean back into the hands if you're feeling tired. If I still have a little bit more energy in you, though, I'm going to ask you to find those sitting bones again. Trying to sit upright. Flex those toes towards you. Inhale, arms reach up. And then exhale, let's try to fold over the lap. Good. This is the more active version. If you had that sort of more restorative or chill version, lazy version, you can just walk those hands forward and hold on to the legs wherever you reach, walking yourself deeper into a fold as you go. Both options work great. Most importantly, we want to flex those toes in toward the face and press the heels away so that we stretch the backs of our hamstrings, our calf muscles. Let that head hang heavy. And if this is really uncomfortable and tight, we're going to separate the feet a little wider. Always accommodating and making room for your body. Let's take one more big breath in wherever you are. And a big exhale. Point that tailbone back. Nice. Good. Slowly walk those hands up your legs as you sit tall once again. We're going to inhale the arms up high. On the exhale, the arms come forward. We're going to engage the core a little here as we come onto the back. So just like we did as we were standing, we slowly rolled up. We're going to slowly roll down. So really using the tummy muscles, keeping your feet anchored on the ground until you come up and then lower all the way down. You can reach the arms up and overhead. Point the toes, take a nice big stretch. Good. And then you can hug those legs back in toward the body, rocking side to side if that feels good for your low back. And we'll just end with a simple twist here. Good. So let's start by keeping the left leg in close to the body. We're going to extend out through the right leg. And then let that leg rest heavy on the mat. Make some adjustments. Really hug that knee in toward your ribs if you'd like. Left hand can help open that knee out to the side for your hip. Right hand here to stabilize. Creating some space in this joint before we compress it. So maybe one more inhale here. Big exhale, let's come back to center. Switching hands. Right arm wraps around that left leg. Inhaling the left arm open wide to the side like a wing with your palm up. Exhale, bring that left leg across the body and over to the right, using your right hand to help ground you. Good. Now let's start to gaze out over to the left, across to those fingertips. Stay here for 3 deep rounds of breath. Good. Slowly gaze back above you at center. Let that leg draw back toward the midline, coming out of that twist. Hugging the right leg in to join it for a big squeeze, lifting your head to your knees. Good. And then relaxing the head and shoulders back down. We're going to switch sides here. Hugging right knee in toward the body, extending out long through that left leg, letting it be nice and heavy. Good. Now, if you would like, right arm can help open that right leg. Opening the hip as the left hand helps anchor your body in place. Big breath in and a long breath out. Good. Come back to center with an inhale. Switch hands. Open that right arm wide. Exhale. Bring that right leg over to the left. Adjusting your hips if you'd like. And then sinking into this pose. Gazing out across those right fingertips, encouraging that right shoulder down while the right knee stretches to the left. 3 deep breaths. Good. One more big inhale. And a big exhale. Slowly come out of the twist with your head and neck first, gazing upwards, letting that right leg come back to the right side of your mat, left leg joining into the chest. If you'd like, you can take a happy baby here, plow pose, another butterfly, anything that helps your practice feel complete. So we're at the very end here. Happy baby is when you bring your feet up, knees wider than your hips. Hands can either grab onto the backs of your thighs like so, pulling your knees in toward your chest. Or if you can reach, grab the bottoms of your feet on the inside or the outside or your big toe. Once you're here, start to pull the feet in toward your chest, feeling that stretch in the low back, the inner thighs, the hips. And most importantly, finding your tailbone and pointing it down, flattening the lower back into the ground. Just like the beginning of our practice, find your belly button. Let's take 3 deep rounds of breath here. Let's take one more big breath in. And a big exhale. Releasing the feet. And extend long through the legs as we prepare the body now for Shavasana, our final pose. And legs are flat and resting on the ground. Arms are close beside the body. We're going to gaze upward. Eyes can remain open if you feel safer, more comfortable. But otherwise, I'd recommend and invite you to close your eyes, starting to let your body soften and sink into the mat. And your arms and legs grow heavy as you soften the skin on your forehead, the scalp, the lips, and eyelids. Letting even your effort around the breath begin to fade. Releasing your tongue from the roof of your mouth. One final big inhale. And then a nice big exhale. Relax all those muscles and just sink into your Shavasana. We'll spend a few moments here. Let me pull out my chime and play you a little sound bath. Enjoy. Start to take some gentle breaths. back in and out of the body. Beginning to wiggle the fingers and toes, adding very delicate, gentle movement into the body. And you're still on your back here. You can bend the elbows, start to lift the hands, making fists and rolling out the wrists and ankles, letting your head gently roll over to one side of your mat, and then lifting your chin up and over to the other. Good. On a big inhale, let's stretch the arms up and overhead. You'll stretch out through the feet as well. One big, long stretch through the whole body. Exhale to hug those knees into the chest. You'll come onto your favorite side. Eyes can stay open or closed. And just rest for another moment or two. No need to rush out of this practice after we've cultivated so much stillness in the mind by moving the body. Helping settle your nervous system back into its parasympathetic state of rest and digest. Or just breathing and noticing how you feel. If there's been any change. And we'll press ourselves up when we're ready. Coming back to where we began. You can join me here in a seat. Any seat that's comfortable. Feel comfortable and you're in a place that's safe to do so. Again, I invite you to close the eyes. Just take a few breaths here as you notice now. And ask yourself, once again, how do I feel? When you're ready, we'll tuck the chin into the chest, gazing down at the lap, slowly blinking those eyes back open, giving yourself a gentle re-entry back into the world from wherever you just went during your yoga practice. And we'll close together by inhaling the arms out and up, gathering in all the wonderful energy we've created. Exhaling hands into the heart as you seal this practice here until next time. Thank you so much for joining me and my cute little friends out here today for a wonderful class. It was a pleasure practicing with you. Until next time.